Yesterday, we celebrated the new world rapid champion Volodar Murzin. Today, the chess world is resting after a few dramatic days in New York. Magnus Carlsen, the reigning rapid and blitz champion, refused to change out of his jeans, and FIDE answered with banning him from round 9. Magnus then said he would not play the rest of the tournament. He pulled out, also stating he would not play the World Blitz Championship. But Take has breaking news tonight, and we are going to Levi Rosman in New York in the Take sofa, sitting there with Magnus Carlsen.
Thank you, Kaya. I'm here with Magnus Carlsen on the rest day between the World Rapid Championship and the World Blitz Championship. And Magnus, I believe you have something to announce.
Yeah, well, I mean, long story short, like we can talk about how it got there, but I am, I'm playing at least one more day here in New York, and if I do well, another day after that.
So you will be playing in the 2024 World Blitz Championship. I do have some questions for you for sure. When did that decision become final?
About a couple of hours ago, maybe. We had a lot of discussions yesterday. Well, first of all, let's go back to.
Sure.
Let's go back to a couple of days ago. I did have some choice words for FIDE in my interview with you, and I would say that it was a bit imprecise. I definitely mean it when it comes to certain people in FIDE. No question about it. I think the situation was badly mishandled on their side, on their side, and I was about to basically book my plane tickets and get out of here. My father said that we should maybe wait to the morning to make a decision to speak to the FIDE president, Tvorkovic, whom we have a good relationship with. Like, we know that we can reason with him. And I think him actually being asleep when this thing went down meant that there were no grown-ups in FIDE. You can argue whether I am or not, but that's like we felt that there was nobody even slightly willing, that they weren't even willing to have a conversation or anything. And we had long conversations with Anand yesterday, and others, which generally didn't lead anywhere. It was generally this, the same answers, that arbiters are basically robots who cannot think on their own, who have no way to even deviate slightly from. It's not. I don't even know if I broke any rules. I still haven't gotten a clear answer on that. They were saying that jeans were generally not allowed. If it's generally not allowed, that must mean that there must be exceptions. And if I think a decent attempt at an outfit, apart from that, didn't meet that exception, I don't see what would, frankly. So I'm not even sure I broke any rules. But anyways, they decided to take that opportunity to pursue like a very narrow interpretation of a rule, and apparently there was no room for discussions or anything. Anand said very clearly that he didn't know that he had any opportunity to do anything past go with the arbiters' honestly draconian decision of not pairing me, and well, that means that he was for all his good qualities, he was not ready for this job. That's what I feel. But I felt that speaking to Dvorkovich yesterday, and to Turlov as well, the main sponsor, we did feel that we could have some fruitful discussions. So at the end of the day, I decided that the only reason that we were having these discussions at all is that I realized when I woke up that not only like did we speak to some more reasonable people, I also love playing Blitz. And that's why like it's still a thing. I want to give the fans as well an opportunity to see this. I don't know if it's gonna be the last time. Who knows? But for now, I'm here, and there have been some, I think, slight alterations to the rules. As a matter of principle, I'm definitely playing in jeans tomorrow. But yeah, here we are.
There's a lot that has been said that this goes beyond the jeans themselves. And before I get into all of that, my main question that sort of the detractors of the whole situation have is, you had some time, right? So for those that say, well, why couldn't you have just changed your pants and sort of kept going? What is sort of your message there? We saw that Jan Nepomniachtchi had to change out of a sweater. Not had to, but he made the decision. I guess if he didn't change out of his sweater, he would have been in the same boat as you. He would have been unpaired for a round. Is it just sort of a matter of, like you said, it's a matter of principle? Are you in a position where you can sort of make a public plea that it's a ridiculous rule, like let the players play their chess and that's really the star of the show?
Yeah, I think it has to be about the intent of the rule, right? Not the necessarily like the very minutes of the letter of the law. I think that's how any reasonable arbiter, like any reasonable body of, that's how it should be. And yeah, of course I could have changed. Obviously, I didn't want to. It would be an unnecessary way of
Conforming?
No, but not only conforming, but also like taking concentration off whatever in between rounds. But I didn't agree with the decision. I thought the punishment that they were going to hand out for what was possibly not even an infraction was unbelievably harsh. And yeah, I didn't agree with it. I didn't want to comply, and I stand by that. Of course, I could have done what other players do, but what will happen now is that there will be some leeway. Like there will be some room for arbiters to actually use common sense. And I think we sort of all want the same thing. We don't want people turning up to these tournaments not putting any effort whatsoever into how they present themselves. Nobody thinks that that's what's what should happen. We want the players to be comfortable, sure, but also relatively presentable. So myself, other players, and FIDE, we're not in, I think, generally not too much in disagreement. I know that not every player has the same means for clothes and so on, but I think it's good that they're making at least some sort of effort. So we're generally not in disagreement. I just think that, and it's not like I didn't comply at all. I accepted the fine, no question, and I said that it was an honest mistake and that I would change the next day. It's not like I didn't. I didn't comply at all. And there was a thing in Kazakhstan a couple of years ago where, through my own fault, obviously, I was late back from a ski trip, stuck in traffic, and I turned up in sweatpants or whatever because I simply did not have time to change. I also had no idea that the games were about to start, so I was just trying to get there as quickly as possible. And I know that generally that's not acceptable. So the fact that I don't remember if they warned me or fined me or whatever, of course. And I changed before the next round. Obviously I did because what I wore was not appropriate attire at all. What I wore a couple of days ago was, in my opinion, and I think of any reasonable person, it was appropriate for a 200-player chess tournament.
Now, how much of what happened do you think is beyond the genes? Hans Niemann was here, Hikaru's been here. Like, over the last 48 hours, a lot of people have sort of hinted at it's beyond the genes. It's sort of more big picture. You hinted at it before you departed. Do you think any of it is spillover and sort of a mutual last straw feeling from all the freestyle stuff going on? Can you talk a little bit about that? Or is it really strictly just about the dress code?
No, of course it's about several things, but I would say that if you put freestyle aside, yes, I think that FIDE have been very, very difficult about that whole thing, but we've generally been able to reason with Dvorkovich about that. If you're talking about Sutovsky, well, I don't think that man can be reasoned with in any way, and we told them such as well.
Can I just quickly jump in though? How does that make sense? How can there be a CEO you cannot reason with, but a president who you have a great relationship with? Maybe it's normal for sports organizations and their stars, right? But I don't know. It seems kind of counterproductive.
Maybe, I don't know if it's a little bit good cop, bad cop, but apart from like geopolitics and so on, people will have their opinions on that. Dvorkovich has generally been true to his word when we talk to him. Sutovsky, not so much. So that's sort of the difference. Why Sutovsky is still employed by FIDE, I have no idea. I think I'm sure he has some good qualities, but from people I've dealt with, nobody's had particularly good experiences with him, and it's honestly frustrating, but it's the way it is.
Hikaru was here yesterday, and he said that it would be really helpful if top 20, top 30 players, or just the best players in the world, had some form of a union or an agreement amongst each other that they could communicate with FIDE for different things, different initiatives, different policies. But it generally feels like you are the only one that has any sort of final say or authority for the players. Because if they do make a better policy for dress code, it won't just be your jeans, it will be the sweaters, there will be no more questions of why, Nepomniachtchi has to change his sweater, but Dubov gets to wear Balenciaga every single round, and we sort of have to wonder, like, what's business casual and what isn't. So I am wondering, like, will they basically only change something for everybody if you have a problem with it? Not that it's any fault of your own, but that they just don't listen to any other top players.
Well, I guess it's to some extent it's a question of power, of course. That and that's been the case in the past as well. So when, of course, this is not only about the genes, but in this case, it kind of mostly is as well, because I've refused to play candidates in the past because I didn't agree on the way that things were being run.
2011.
Yeah, 2011. I dropped out of the World Championship cycle once before that as well because I didn't like the way things were run. I've had discussions with tournament organizers where I've been very firm about the way that I felt that they are doing things wrong and they're doing them unfair, and I don't want to be a part of it if it doesn't change. And I'm prepared. That this is like this has been a theme for many years. Like I'm prepared to generally walk away. But I'm glad that in this case, at least, we've managed to have some sort of change instead of the completely robotic, automatic, one warning, and then basically if you don't change, then it's an automatic, not expulsion, but not being paired from a round, which to most people would be that exact thing. That there is some room for interpreting the rules, and I don't know. It also feels to me that it kind of was better before. That when I started playing top tournaments, like for many years, there were arbiters that were a lot, maybe sort of more old school in the sense that they were more trying to find solutions instead of always trying to strictly follow the letter of the law. And I think that's a better approach. And I did listen to what the arbiter had to say as well, the chief arbiter. I disagree with him vehemently, and I think it's very clear that he is not qualified for the job that he has here. And I think it's good that now, with the way things are going to be, the powers will not rest only with an arbiter who's out of his depth.
You mentioned just now the thought of walking away, and also, you're not sure if it'll be the last World Blitz Championship and so on. And I do think the world is watching, so I kind of wanted to ask about that specifically. You have the freestyle, the Fischer Random, the tour that's upcoming, and you've done a couple of events like last year, and also this cool thing in Singapore with Fabiano. But for you, what makes chess exciting? Like, what would make it exciting? Is it a matter of simply prize fund and stature and stars and all that? Or is it the format? Is it the circus to get the 8 players into a candidates and to emerge one winner, and you have to play that person in one match once every 2 years? Would you, is something like defending the world championship, which I guess you're no longer world champion, but at least when you were, is it two 60-minute games a day? Is it strictly the openings? When you look at the chess world now and how much time you have left in it, what excites you? Is it just rapid blitz and sort of no openings? Like, I think the world, and me too, I am interested in knowing, like, your thoughts.
Well, for me, it's very simple. I think of the formats that I think are, first of all, that are fun to play. Like, that's what I want to do, and I still, for me, when it comes to freestyle, it's very simple. I just think that fundamentally that it's a better game. I think that chess, or the opening, the standard position, I think it's a great position. It's a very playable one in a vacuum, but it's been analyzed for so many years, and it's becoming harder and harder. And I think that's just simply not that suitable for a long time control. Yes, evidently it's still playable, but it's becoming more and more difficult. And I simply feel that freestyle is at the top level. I'm not talking about taking anything away from your club tournaments, or even IM tournaments or national championships or whatever. I just fundamentally believe that at the top level, freestyle is more exciting and more playable. And I do love the idea of playing long chess games, sitting there for hours with deep ideas. And guess what? That's a lot easier if you're not playing theory from the first move. So that's, to me, that's what it's about. It's really about the format. Like I still love playing. If I only care about, you know, certain prize money, certain titles, I would be playing 3 tournaments a year. But I'm still playing all the time. Like I love playing certain firms, and I think for Rapid and Blitz, like chess as it always has been played, it still works very well, and I enjoy it.
What if chess in 2025 became a tennis system? There were no World Championship matches. Everything was sort of a couple of days of a qualifier where some top 100 top players show up. They have to qualify to make it into the tournament, and then every single tournament was a knockout. And let's even add the fact that it's not going to be a 5-hour game once a day. You have to play 2 60-minute games, something like that. But it is the traditional position. Is something like that exciting for you?
Not particularly.
No.
I again, I think it's generally better to have when you're playing the normal position to have more games and shorter time controls. But I don't know. Still, but I do like some parts of it. As you said, more games. I feel that having a knockout phase at the end is exciting, and it's keeping with the times as well. But I also I understand that FIDE want to do their thing, that for both them, for a lot of fans, and for players as well, the Classical World Championship is a big deal. And like, we don't want to stop anybody from doing that. Just as I don't think FIDE should stop us from organizing a freestyle world championship when there effectively is none, at least with a longer time control element. It's like, we want to cooperate with FIDE, but if they're not, if they're not playing ball, like when you're offering them money, they're asking for more. And I know that Sutovsky said that he wasn't threatening, or they were not threatening players, but what his statement was basically, we're not threatening players, but we're actually threatening players. But well, it's a long thing, but basically, I love playing chess, but at certain formats and under certain conditions.
That's fair. Hans Niemann was here yesterday. Would you incorporate any of his ideas? Like right now for the next freestyle tour, there's only one qualification spot. Would you open it up to a few others?
I think having some open qualifiers is it's a good thing. We want to give not only the very best players, but also others like Niemann the chance to qualify. So that's fair.
I know you don't really think about losing ever too much, but I do have a funny thought. Like, I've had a debate with my wife for a while. I play a lot of bullet, and sometimes I get asked by people, what do you love about playing chess? And I say, oh, it's like the creative positions. I attack in every game, and it's just exciting. I play a lot of different openings. My wife just says, no, you really like chess because you win a lot. I don't win as much as you, but let's say I win 60 to 65% of my games. She says, you just win a lot. Like, for people who lose more than they win, they don't enjoy it as much. So I guess my question to you is, you've won a lot. You've won a lot, unless you're removed from a tournament for genes, let's say. if freestyle happens and you're playing the type of chess that you want, will you still enjoy it as much if you don't win every single tournament? Because you are losing some degree of an advantage. You're opening ideas and so on, putting pressure through the middle game. Or do you expect like, no, I'm going to go in and I'm going to be the freestyle world champion, or else I won't be as happy?
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the question. Like, of course I won't be as happy if I don't win. Like, I always wanna win. But I think we'll sort of cross that bridge when it comes. Like, yeah, I do agree that chess is a lot more enjoyable when you're winning, especially when you're feeling a bit of a flow, as well as winning. But it's not always that case, and I do understand that over the years it's going to be probably less winning for me as well, and more struggles, and I suppose every format then will be a little less fun, but it's not like I suck at classical chess. That's it's. I mean, I generally think that it's imperfect in the sense that it sort of equalizes the game too much. Like, it makes draws a bit too prevalent, because it's sort of too easy to prepare and defend. But I still like play it occasionally. I'm still very good. So like, that's not the reason why I'm not playing.
Yeah, I guess the question was mostly, are you worried that going into a freestyle format takes away some of your
I'm not
advantages?
but I'm not thinking about it at the moment. But I still think that thinking from scratch and freestyle, that I'm very good, and hopefully I'll be able to prove that.
That's fair. Is there anything we haven't covered today? I haven't asked you that you want the world to know before you go?
Honestly, this went on a lot longer than I thought it would, and it's obviously my fault because I keep rambling.
Questions.
But no, I think we're all right, and I'm excited to play some Blitz tomorrow, and hopefully I can make the day too, and give some entertainment to people back in Norway as well, who probably will be less than sober towards the end of the second day.
That's true. Under the new format, when you are a crown champion, it's already going to be New Year, just based on the time zones. I appreciate your time, and I think I'll send it back to Oslo. Guys, take it away.
Levi, Magnus, thank you for that breaking news from New York. Magnus Carlsen is back, and that is exactly what the fans wants to see. World Blitz Championship starts tomorrow with reigning champion Magnus Carlsen in the field. Remember to download the Take app to follow all the action, and you can follow the broadcast on our Take YouTube channel. Exciting news coming from New York today. We are now looking forward to World Blitz Championship match. World Blitz Championship starting tomorrow. We'll see you then. Bye.